Welcome back to the most professional StarCraft 2 with the Protoss player in the blue. Not the one we deserve, but the one we need right now. It's Hero. The only Protoss with a better than 50% win rate against this player, ranked #1 in the world by Dark. It's the final boss. It's Dark. A best of 5 Protoss versus Zerg, where, well, between these two, they've gone almost even. But Hero, more times than not, seems to have Dark's number. And speaking of, it'd be awesome if you could like and subscribe. And Jimmy, what are we... Yes, the number. That was a clever segue. 1,301 likes on this video, on this cast, this series. I'll cast another one. And I'll probably do it anyways. But thank you for watching. Hopefully you've had a good day so far. And hopefully it's about to get just a little bit better. Before we get too far, and happy birthday to Dave Testa, who put on this match for our viewing pleasure, as Hero versus Dark always is. Also helps out with the, or is one of the founders of the Korean StarCraft 2 League. So thank you for that. More Dark versus Hero is just what the world needs, even though it might not know it. The Adept, well, gonna get clawed to death by the Zerglings, and only one survivor. The Oracle lording over everything. More Adepts on the way across. Looks like Dark not gonna let this one go. 10 more Lings on the way. Wants to box them out before they can get even close. A single Oracle isn't gonna be enough. The creep starting to extend out. And gets the creep tumor. Cancels the shade at the last moment. Hero gets away with it for now. Dark, another round of drones. The Oracle's building up. Even Moracle's building at home. I'll see, he hasn't added on a, he's got the 2 gases at the natural, but no Twilight, no Forge yet. Gonna find some damage, but get off my creep! All right, Brenda, you got your revenge. Oh, he's not done, he's coming in for more? Okay, 6 kills, but a lot of damage there. Lair begins for Dark. No Roach Warren on the way, so a bit suspicious. Twilight Forge for Hero. He has those gases at the natural, so he wants to go towards the Blank Stalkers, more than likely, but the Shrine to Dark is still on the table. As well as potentially, well, that's most of it. Occasionally he'll get Charged Loud Archon, but I don't think we're going to see that here. Alright. They're on the way. Dark still building Zerglings, wants to overwhelm any number, well, at least reasonable numbers of Adepts, if they decide to get too ambitious. Baneling Nest in production. Dark, I think he's on a Zergling kick again. It's week to week whether or not we're doing Ravagerling, Hydras, or Zerglings. And I think Zergling week has started yet again. Another Oracle is badly damaged, but not killed. A Nidus is on the way, though. And it looks like Dark wants to hit him hard and hit him, well, relatively fast. Not that Queens are the most rapid of creatures, but when the Nidus brings them a little bit closer, it's more about how many you bring than how quickly they get there. So there's 7 Queens on the field. All right, Susan, call everyone. You could just, like, you don't, it's not that far. You can just talk to them. Susan! Sorry. Nidus is on the way. And Dark, 15 Banelings in production at the natural. Hero, does he have any idea? He didn't see the Nidus. The Oracles are looking around. He's building 6 more gates, but the Nidus, we've arrived! And another Nidus is on the way. The Queens are marching. And the Banelings are rolling in. Hero has a force field, but that doesn't keep all the Banes out. The Adepts will eat the brunt of it. The Queens, well, arrive maybe a little bit late to the fight, but better late than never. Indeed, as some of them still on the creep as well, so they could easily transfuse. Blink isn't even done. He's trying to get back to the high ground, but there's no more shield batteries here. The Oracle, trying to do anything, gets a stasis from the high ground, but the Queens are closing in. Terrible probes go flying up to the surface as Dark digs deep with the Queens. The creep is over the 3rd already. They've taken up residence. Brenda, like you said, everything the creep touches is our domain. Yes, I did say that. That was very profound. And now spread the creep, Lucille. Calm down. The queens are at the gates, and that's about it. Stalkers blink over the top of queens with a bit of joint paint off a creep here. More Zerglings streaming through. Dark maybe getting a bit cost effective here, but the queens, the monarchy, holds dominion over pretty much everything except for Hero's first 2 bases. Dark falls back, getting double Evo Chamber. The Nidus Worm's taken out. Another Nidus to the north side. He does have an infestation pit. No swarm house. And now Hero actually has a whole lot. Yeah, there's the revelation. Hero has a lot of stalkers now. And 1-1 just started. Another Nidus on the way, prompting a bit of panic out of Hero before he realizes, oh, it's not actually a big deal. There is no Robo right now, so there is no detection but revelation. He had to wait out those cooldowns. Hero wants to re-expand. Dark has not really built any more drones. He built like 4 or 5 more, went up to 51, 52, and now is building. We're still doing mass Zergling. Okay, it's Zergling week again. The Zerglings and Queens, but Vespine gas. He's doing a Vespine gas purge, all right? Gas is only for upgrades and for banelings. I'm just trying it out. Will we see ultras? Adrenal glands is the obvious choice. Do ultras fit the theme? That's what we gotta ask. Like, do they match? I think so. Mass Queen, Zerglings, banelings, ultras are right there. All right? Yeah. Oh, Dark knows. We know. You know. Everyone knows. Very smart people are saying ultras, the way to go. Well, upgrades and ultraless simultaneously. The queen line comes together. Across the field here. Hero does have +1 done. Dark is trying to wait out some upgrades. But +2 ranged attack, or +2 Protoss ground is completed now. But that is just Stalkers against Mass Zergling. The Stasis, gonna wait it out. Catches a few legs, but the Queens are coming down. Though they can't stray too far off the creep. No, they can. They just can't very quickly. Much to their dismay here. The Stalkers might have the upgrades, but the Zerglings have the numbers. The Queens are forced to turn around. Well, that's a bit awkward. More Zerglings coming out. Adrenal glands is kind of required. Well, it needs some upgrades, and he's got them now. +1 attack and Carapace, but Hero is pressing the issue. Hero is looking to get... He knows how much Dark is building. He's got 4 bases. I don't even think he knows about the 5th. The Zerglings are wrapping around the back. The Stalkers will have to blink away. The Queens are creeping mid-fight. A remarkable attention to detail. And now, Dark closing in with the Zerglings. There's 71. It's pure Zergling. Why am I yelling? It's kind of my job, but it's worthy of note. Well, Adrenal Glands is done. Pre-splitting the Zerglings for the blinks here. Hero? Oof. Oh my, once the Zerglings close in, even if they weren't perfectly on point there, the Oracle's lighting up, burning through a lot of them. But if he reduces the critical mass, it's the physical area the Stalkers are taking up. That is the big issue for the link. And when the Stalkers can't cover each other's backs, well, Zerglings will find them. And now the Revelation's being used, but Hero is running out of options. Another wave of Zerglings comes in. 2-2's on the way. Infestor's in production. He finished the Ultra upgrades, but with 1 Infestor, he throws out the Fungal. Gonna pre-split back. Hero, where you gonna go? Who you gonna call? There's no one left. A wave of Stalkers, but I think that's it. There's just too damn many Zerglings. A few Banelings thrown in for spicy flavor. Spicy? Savory. Definitely savory. Not important. GG. Hero tops it out. Game 1 goes with the Queen push into the Mass Zergling plays. Well, Mass Zergling was like the whole time, but a very dark build and a dark time for Hero in Game 1. He just underestimated. He didn't see the Nidus. The Queens, all right, especially when they're being chauffeured by the Nidus Worm. Still a danger. The sheer biomass they represent and the amount of damage it takes to get through them is oftentimes too much. And Dark demonstrating that. I do believe that the last, at least 2 times they've played, Hero has gotten the better of him. I don't remember the scores, but, now, it's one of those series that, even if Dark wins 2 games convincingly, I don't think that's a predictor of the... The
Ladies and gentlemen,
citizen's arrest.
we got him.
That's enough. That's enough. That's enough. Oh, that feels so solid. All right. One of my top 35 favorite feelings related to StarCraft 2. Killing the probe. We'll go over, if you like and subscribe, we'll go over at least 3 to 4. Check out my Drone Leaf fans. All right. But killing that probe, so it doesn't matter much at this stage. He saw the gas, he saw the expansion timing. He knows the width and breadth, or the range of things that this could be. But at the same time, there's always the question mark with Dark. Like, did he just build 6, 8, 10 lings and is gonna run in? Because not having that probe means there's a little bit of a higher chance that he gets away with it. But no, spots the 3rd, and that's the important info there, that there's very unlikely to be Zerglings walking in right now, though some may be popping out. Avoid Ray from Hero. What are you trying to avoid, Hero? Zerglings, wrap around. Whoa! A Deb slips away. Almost cornered, but not quite. Overlord just hanging out, as it does. A lot of Zerglings out for Dark, who never shies away from overbuilding. That's, I think, kind of a signature, where Sarah will have just enough and then, like, 4 Zerglings more. Dark might just build an extra 20 lings and make it work. It's just such a different style. More of an impressionist painting of a Zerg build than a photorealistic one. Because of all the photos we have of Zerg. Moving on. Void Ray melts through an Ovi. The Void Ray itself is, it's not really a tell, but it kind of changes the game. Because a Void Ray is not the ideal choice for kind of keeping control of the situation. But its main purpose is to deny scouting and potentially defend against all-ins. But Oracles are usually better than that when well managed. Better with that, rather. So, Hero building the Void Ray is already a bit of an alarm bell for Dark. Now, what specifically does he need to be concerned about? Well, that's the thing, right? That's what the Void Ray is here to deny. That sort of information. But Dark has decided the way to handle this. Oh, sir, this is private property. The Spore Crawler at the edge of the mineral line there. Hero trying to use. Ends up getting 3 kills. He's gonna have 3 Oracles behind. Hero does have the gases at his natural, which is a pretty big tell. But he wants to tech up behind. And now, they're on the way pretty early for Dark as well. Ah, Roach Warren. So he isn't completely committed to Zerg Week, or Zergling Week, here. We'll see, though, as time goes on. I think he's suspicious of a charge lot timing. That is, or Adept Glaives is also on the table. But it's neither of the two, it's just Moracles. Though, Hero's just kind of banking them up. He had a couple sitting back, another one coming in towards the 3rd. He's sacrificing the HP for some drones. 2 incredibly bad, he's got 1 in the back corner. 2 incredibly badly bruised Oracles here. Revelation, the Zerglings are looking to... Wait, where did the Shades go? Wow, it gets so far away. But this is not a Revelation, but... Infestation Pit. And he's getting ranged attack. Richard, are your brethren ready? Your queens call. The banners. I've been playing too much Mana Lords. All right, doing a lot of feudalism here. So queens and swarm hosts and brood lords. Oh my. Great game. check it out in the second channel. Shameless. Swarm host Nidus. Okay. So a Nidus yet again. Okay, it's not swarm host yet. We haven't seen any. But, okay, there you go. Don't count your spawning mobile incubators before they hatch, if you would. $11 swarm hosts on the way. Storm in production for Hero. And what do we got at the back here? Stasis on one drone. Oh. I don't know what's up with the commentary today. I feel like very radio commentator like. We got the Zerglings coming around to the north side, you see? What is that? What is that? And all those swarm hosts popping out the locust over to the 6 o'clock position, dropping down, swooping in like a flock of murderous crows. But no ravens in this game, no. Instead, he recalls an oracle back. The locusts are gonna slaughter a dozen probes, and the Nexus is under fire. A dozen, really? 15 probes dead, and we're just getting about 2/3 of the way through. It should be mostly the end of it, but 15 probes to the first wave of locusts is absolutely devastating. I think that was pretty good, but we'll tone it back a bit. Yes, really, it shouldn't have done that much damage. Lurker Den is on the way, trying to bait Hero into less than ideal position. Dark only has 71 drones. He's making another round here. But that isn't the overwhelming economy. It's instead focused on getting more and more ready to utilize all the tech here. Another wave of locusts, but awkwardly, the Oracle can't actually hit them, but the Storm, he's splitting against locusts. I don't know, Kev. Well, that was one of the most awkward exchanges. The Oracle's watching the locusts fly and dodge the storm, so that way they could extend their depressingly short lives. Or maybe, thankfully short. I don't know. Depends on your really philosophy on things. Well, Hero's holding on to his bases. He's got Storm, which means, of course, access to Archons. Another Nidus, but just kind of... Really? Swarm hosts are lazy. It's like, just can you go down the street and pick me up some locusts? Can I take the car? Fine. Nidus right outside the base. Honestly, I think it's a mental thing. Oh, drops down the stasis will help them time out. I think throwing the Nidus out just to make Hero concerned that there may be a Nidus nearby, almost as important as putting the Nidus in a useful spot. Because obviously this Nidus in the center of the map is not going to be a meaningful part of expediting any sort of transport. But it certainly was stressful for that moment. Fun fact, if you're listening closely, you can actually hear which direction the Nidus is, even if you can't see it. Quite reliably. So, unless Hero's playing muted here, he should... I found it to be quite reliable. Just make sure your headphones are on the right direction. Well, Lurkers are kind of just hanging out. There's not that many of them. There's only 4 Lurkers. But, oh, there's a lot more Swarm hosts, and they're breaking through the wall. So, Revelation on a couple. There is Storm, but the Templar out of position. He just right-clicks on the Nexus. Storm on some of the Lurkers. He'll lose the Nexus. But Dark ends up losing all his Lurkers here. The cannons are taken out. And again, Hero's forced into kind of an awkward base trade situation. Where he doesn't have... Well, he has more workers. But he only has 3 bases. Dark is on 5 now. Flunks forward. A bold move indeed. We'll see if it works out for him. The Stalkers on the back. Well, they should be on the back, but the Templar need to be protected. He's going into a concave of Lurkers, and it's not going particularly well. Dark is able to pull the army together. There's still the Swarm hosts waiting for their opportunity. A Nidus from the north side, and a wave of Locusts could easily knock out the only real mining base. He just whips the Locusts out towards the Nexus, makes sure he's in a safe location. Observer on the high ground targets down a lurker, but wait, there's more. Oh my god. Making it rain locusts. He could just right-click the Nexus. Why is he not clicking the Nexus? Dark! Oh no! A significant missed opportunity there. Got a little distracted on some of those locusts. And now Hero might be able to break through with the storms. Well, he's pretty much out of energy. There's a lot more lurkers on the way. Hero, honestly, that Nexus is a bit of a liability. Hero cleans up as much of the map as he can. He has the observers for the creep, but another. That Nidus was never found. Hero may find it with the Blink Stalkers, but another wave of locusts comes down. So, it's like watching the AI. I mean, it kind of is, as he sent out the locusts. Trying to get whatever he can done here. Bunch of the probes. But Hero's holding on. Dark now has 11 lurkers. He hasn't lost a single swarm host. Sir Richard and his merry band of swarm host brethren. Not the accidental Ricky, but instead a very intentional group of incredibly annoying brood mothers. Gender non-conforming. But the lurkers are... Oh, there's no charge. He didn't get charge. And the Templar get eviscerated by the lurkers. How do they even get hit by the lurkers when they're floating across? I'm not entirely sure. But the Templar don't have time to care. Well, the Storm Concave is looking pretty good here, but he's putting a Nidus on the high ground in the Swarm Host. Get a center seat here. Oh, if he decides to pop him out, he's not popping him out. Because the Locusts went to the north side. I missed it too. And Dark takes out the Nexus. It's a disaster for Hero, as Dark takes 2. Again, Hero pinned back by Dark's Nidus antics. And unable to really get anything going. Jimmy, that spawning pool works for me. But another creative game out of Dark. Hero tried to go down the same road as last game. And he got about the same distance. He got... he got to Storm, and he got a 4th base. But he never really got anything else going before Dark started knocking on the door, flying under the door, slipping around the door, bashing through the door. A lot of door-related things, which makes Protoss feel very uncomfortable because they're incapable of making them in the first place. So it's really just a metaphor. Unfortunately for Hero, who would probably benefit more than any other player in the world from Protoss having some sort of actual door. So my suggestion, inspired by campaign, I was thinking about how do you give Protoss a door without giving them a real buff. Alright, because we don't give Protoss real buffs. Everyone knows that. We give them like pylon range or sentry shield damage. So speaking of sentries, what if the sentry, now this is it's going to sound crazy, what if the sentry had sentry mode? Okay? You know like how the observer has surveillance mode? What if the sentry had, working title, sentry mode, where it could siege up and it gets a little more vision and it can't move. So when Hero slaps that F2 button, he doesn't let 30 Zerglings in his base and lose a series 1 out of 3 times. Now, Terrence, I know this sounds crazy, but think about it this way. And you could use all your spells and stuff if you had the energy in sentry mode. You just can't move. It's much more likely that Protoss will try to wall off against you, Terrence, and they'll just lose their sentries. I know they're already losing their sentries because they technically have less range than Stalkers or Immortals, but it's another easy way to deal with it. So this is just making it harder for Zergs. So think about it that way. That's who we got to appeal to here. No, but like I actually think that would be a cool idea to try, and it would kind of fit, and ideally in the door, since I don't think we're gonna end up giving something like a. And it's not a big deal. This is more of a for the Diamond Leaguers out there, and Hero, than for Max Packs or someone. But my MMR would think. Well, here we are. Dark. I don't think a door would help very much with the way Dark is playing. You need like a protective shield dome. And even then, well, the Locust will probably break through it. But the Oracles are here. We've played out the start of the game, at least very similar. The first couple minutes of PvZ are pretty figured out. It's just a matter of how much the Protoss is able to shave away from the Zerg, and how annoyed the Zerg is about it, and whether they want to do a crazy all-in as a counter. It really does feel sometimes like you keep it poking and prodding the Zerg enough. Eventually, well, they do a Nidus Queen all-in or something. But here, Hero has the solid Oracle Adept time that combined, these two units can get a ton of damage done. Individually, they're both countered by Queens. But together, you can essentially invalidate the Zerglings while still severely threatening the Mineral Line. Adepts get into the main. Shading right through the Queens, far out of position for this. The Oracles try to join up with the Queens, strongly, politely, and yet firmly, deciding they shouldn't be anywhere nearby. The drones even getting involved, doing some little mineral walk micro to get some more surface area on it. Oracle's coming in. Can we zoom out, please? Was thinking about a stasis there. But blink and +1. I think Hero's getting there. Okay, the Stalker was able to tuck itself in. Dark not gonna bother. Instead, adds on a bunch more drones. Fourth base on the way, dropping some creep over here. Bit of an underutilized, like, despite how easy. That's another thing. Like, for Zerg, why not have creep drop be default? Okay. Just like Warp Gate. Whenever you unlock a lair, creep drop. I mean, it's not that hard. Okay. I think it's one of the more amusing yet disgusting things about Zerg. Dark does seem to utilize it more than other players, but it's kind of a severely... I think it's partially because with Legacy of the Void for the most part. So for those who don't know, or might not realize, creep is significantly faster in Legacy of the Void. Many moons ago, like 5 years now, at least, it was buffed, nerfed to both spread and recede about twice as fast. The idea here being it's more interactive. Like, you can get your creep spread out there, it rewards you for that, but at the same time, once you clear it, it recedes quickly enough, especially when it comes to dealing with, like, creep blocking bases and stuff like that. So, I think, in general, it has been less of a mandatory mechanic when it comes to the Creeper Lords. Alright, well, Blink isn't done, and those Stalkers feeling the brunt of it. He loses 2, but the Oracles will protect them, and now Blink and +1 are completed. 14 Mutas are on the way, but... well, technically, Hero has the hardest possible counter, which is ranged Phoenixes. Though I don't think that's why he got a fleet beacon here. He's building a carrier, spots a Muta. He spotted that Muta, right? He's building 2 carriers. I don't know if carriers are the choice. Yes, canceled. Ranged Phoenixes. On the way. And, well, the Mutas. That's a lot of Mutas. He managed to get 15 Mutas. Just pulled them out of thin air. Well, out of the eggs, in which case they started flapping immediately and dried their wings, and now are looking to murder. There's only 2 Phoenixes, which is not enough. He's flying away here. I'm surprised he didn't decide to keep fighting, but the Stalkers are chasing, which means the Zerglings will get into the 3rd, but they right-clicked on an assimilator, which is not the ideal target. The Stalkers will chase some of them down, but Dark is oh god. Dark is turning this into full map control. Yes, you have Phoenixes. Yes, you can deflect the Mutas. But that is so many of them. Alright. Dark is saying to the Mutas, some of you may die, but that's a chance I will definitely take. And it's a quantity being a quality all its own situation here. As the mass Mutas against a mothership on the way for Hero. Hero trying to turtle up and build the death ball. He keeps getting supply block, though. 149, it finishes a couple more, but the flock, 24 mutas, 77 zerglings. Well, oh, he comes in. Dark will just fight this. The zerglings on the 4th base. Hero brings everyone. Besides a few zealots, he just warped in, but the surface area isn't good. The zerglings have +1 attack and will rip through those zealots. And the Nexus is next on the agenda. Hero again pinned down to 3 bases against a 5-base Zerg. Is there a hive? The only saving grace here for Hero is there's no infestation pit. There's no hive. That's changing. But there are corruptors on the way as Dark goes for the Sky Zerg style to combat both the Phoenixes and, it's kind of implied, carriers. Though I doubt he's expecting a mothership quite this early. We keep looking at the natural. We keep seeing nothing in the wall. If only he had sentry mode on it. And here we go. Zerglings. Oh, very old school, but uses the active cloak. If you deal with the mothership, you can deal with the cloak. There's a whole bunch. There's a whole field of stalkers underneath. There's the time warp, but he doesn't care. He's boxing out the phoenixes with the corruptors. The mutas will fly away, but the blink stalkers over the top will chase them down. Dark has lost a lot in this battle. He lost 19 mutalisks. 67 zerglings and counting. Of course, he did kill some phoenixes and the mothership. He's building 12 more mutas. A brute force composition to sweep Hero out of the sky. Hero is building carriers, but what he doesn't have conspicuously here are Archons. And he agrees. Templar Archives on the way. Flyer attack level 2, about to complete. And the Stalkers. Well, the Zerglings are trying to get in, but he does manage to wall off in time. Phoenixes kite back, but there's so many Corruptors. The carrier has arrived, but I wish it didn't. Oh, knocked out of the sky immediately. More carriers out of position here. Hero's still with a remarkably high amount of supply in this fight. The Blink Stalkers are mostly uncontested. That was a horrible engagement for the Zerglings. How did that go? 37 Zerglings. Okay, that's not that many, but they weren't able to get much done to the Stalkers. They only lost half dozen or so. And now we got a mothership on the way. The Templar Archive should be done momentarily, though Hero can't really warp in too many Archons. Or any Archons at all. Technically, when a Templar and another Templar love each other very much, then they become one more. Which is an Archon. Alright, that's the joke. It's not a joke, it's serious, it's for life. You literally can't undo it. Well, the 4th base, under full attack yet again. The cannons ripped apart. The pylon, he's just gonna click on the Nexus. Some of the Zerglings on hold position. Dark is playing full Zerg here, throwing away so many units. But in the long run, it may pay off. In the short run, though, it looks real bad. 140 to 162 supply. Ultraless Cavern on the way. +3 flyer attack. Adrenal glands. +3 melee. And 5 Ultraless. And a partridge in a pear tree. Hero. Son of a Protoss. And the Zerglings get in. And Hero's attack has been undercut. He will finish +1 shields. Just barely. But that's the end of the Forge. The entire army comes back because there was no one blocking the gate. And even though that wasn't, like, critical damage, the amount of time, that was the difference between Hero attacking against unupgraded Ultras and a handful of Zerglings, and now Adrenal Glands. Chitinous Plating isn't done, but the Ultras are complete. Dark has refilled up to near 200 supply. +2 Carapace and Chitinous Plating are on the way, but Dark isn't going to let Hero get into position. storms across the board. Cloaking field, mothership, time warp, taken down. Carrier has arrived, but now it's dead as well. The queens, hold it together! But the ultras are trying. But the transfuses are not quite enough. The blink stalkers are turning it around. But 5 more ultras in production. And behind it all, the Zerglings at the natural, ripping down the non-existent door. The Zerglings at the 4th base actually get through the stalkers. And for the 3rd game in a row, Hero is forced into an awkward base trade where Dark is holding all the cards. The natural's gone. The 4th base under attack. Dark, all he has to do is hold 1 army, and the Zerglings are streaming forth. He's going to have +3 attack. Hero's rebuilding a mothership. That's optimism. The stalkers blinking over the top, but 3, they have speed done. That's just far too much, I think. Hero's army is still pretty large, but no. Dark takes a clean sweep. 3-0. A commanding performance. So good, I think we deserve a 2nd series with Dark. Yes, a bonus series here. Not just 1 game, but I saw a series that I wanted to check out against a player I've never seen before. Though apparently is a pretty cheesy one. So, we have Rebellion versus Dark as our bonus series. Like and subscribe. A convincing victory over Hero, but we'll see about Rebellion, who I have no idea who this is. I've seen him around a couple times. I don't know if this is someone's pseudonym. In fact, Jimmy, can we look it up? I just was recommended this series because of spicy builds against Dark, but you know, that really doesn't narrow it down. He's a Korean Protoss on Team Super, who is ranked, what, 158 worldwide? Well, I mean, so that would be quite an upset here for him to take it against Dark. But, well, we'll see. But hopefully you guys enjoy the anti-spoiler bonus series. So, what I've learned is it appears whatever sort of spicy builds we're going to see is not, at least at the very start of this first game. Overall, I'm aiming for like 40 to 60 minutes. Seems to be what YouTube wants from the videos. Too short, and even if people are watching the whole video, YouTube's like, well, they're not watching that long. Too long, and let's be honest, people tune out. But I think I can ask of you, or hopefully, you made it this far. You made it to the bonus series and didn't tune out, so I'm gonna go ahead and make some assumptions. Like 30 minutes to 45 a day for some games. Something to put on in the background. That's what I find, like, when I want some downtime. 20 minutes too short. 30 minutes, probably too short. You want to sit down and kind of chill for a bit. So, but, of course, like an hour plus, that's a commitment. So, well, hopefully you enjoy. Thank you for watching. So far, so standard. The Zerglings get in. Oracles on the way. I haven't seen anything particularly untoward. Enough Zerglings to box out the Adepts, and enough Queens to deal with the Oracles. We've got this pretty figured out at this stage. Stalker taken out with high ground vision help from the Oracle, which does reduce the amount of time the Oracle can be useful on the other side, but it looks like he's just going to play defensively here. Twilight Council on the way. That is quite an early one. A Roach one for Dark. 2 more gases as well. I think Dark, this is one of those where Dark is playing very, very safe. There are 2 options for Dark that he seems to take against players he thinks he's better than. One is don't cut any corners at all and just crush whatever they throw at you. Option 2 is cut their head off before they can really even think about what's happening. But this is a good old-fashioned Glaive Adept all-in. Was it all in? Well, he's kind of stopped. He cancels. I believe that was several drones. No? A bit odd. I think those were roaches. He canceled to make Zerglings, which is a bit of an odd choice. You can't get, you don't get the larva back. The egg just dies, which is kind of depressing, but he wanted the money there. Dark is sending the queens across. So this is aggression versus aggression here. Dark is marching. Brenda, just keep walking, Karen. Just keep walking. I don't want to hear it today. Like, let's just get this over with. We've got 17 more series to play today. Well, with Adept Glaives done, it becomes a lot easier to hold this. And Rebellion's going to have plenty of Adepts. So this is, if it was Blink Stalkers with +1, this would certainly be a difficult timing. Does he not have energy for overcharge? Or did he already use it? He already used it. I must have missed it. The queens are here. Dark is starting to break through. That stasis is on point. The queens try to outrun the stasis, but the Glaive Adepts are actually one of the best possible counters here. Queens are breaking through. Dark finding more in the mineral line here. And that shield battery running out of energy. Stasis helps a bit. Warping in another round, but the Queens and Ravagers are closing in. The army is starting to thin out a bit, but Dark just has so many units. And he's just crushing through. He's smothering Rebellion here, who has plenty of probes, but maybe shouldn't at this stage. 5 gates, knocks out the Adepts before they can even finish warping in. And GG. Dark with a decisive victory. Yet again. A Queen walk into just a smash, even against Adept Glaives. If it was, so the best defense is actually DTs. If you rush DTs and they happen to not go for a lair, it might work out. Now that's a huge risk and you die if they don't do an all-in for the most part. A lot of the time, but Adept Glaives was not supposed to be the defensive tool, but instead a form of aggression, of course. Oh, Jimmy, please! Jimmy! That's a forge. Okay, now I know. So this is... I figured it out. It's a cannon rush. It's a Nexus first... Well, it's a Nexus first into... Is he gonna do the... Yeah, on the high ground. Dark has an Overlord there. He knows. 3 drones off the line. Oh, and he does the triple block. It's been a while. And a cannon, well, that's a pylon to block on the low ground. There's enough space for just this. So the reason you can't do this on the low ground is because of these unbuildable rocks, and that's their entire purpose. He boxes in the cannon. It's very, very important to keep this probe alive. Puts another cannon down. Actually cancels the pylon. Rebellion. Some remarkable efficiency here. Remember, he had a Nexus first behind, which Dark is going to see now. This is a macro cannon rush. With 2, and the probe gets in and scouts the Roach one. That's huge. Cannon back at home. He's actually going to use that as part of his wall. And now the question will be, can Dark hold the natural? I think so. Cannon's going to take quite a while to go through it. The probe's gonna hold the door. Better than Hero did. Sorry, Hero. I don't think it decided the game, but it certainly didn't help. Dark just gives up the base. I mean, it would have been costly to try to hold it, but still. Rebellion with one of the best executed macro cannon. It's working. I mean, this is not supposed to end the game. It's just supposed to put Dark in such a weird spot and tough spot economically that he's gonna struggle to recover. And yeah, Dark can't come down the ramp till the cannons are dealt with. He has Ravagers. Cybercore's about to finish. So quite late on that, obviously. And there's no high ground vision, so the roaches on the high ground can work on this. He's gonna use the corrosive bow to work his way through. Just clean up these cannons. Multiple stalkers on the way, but Rebellion has successfully thrown this game sideways. All right, he's flipped the table. And now we pick up the pieces and see what's left. And Dark only has 20 drones, which of course means he's got to do some damage. So the Overlord on the high ground is untouchable. He can't see it. All right, it's on the little pervert pillar there, designed for exactly this purpose. But that cannon rush worked out perfectly and was executed so well. The question is, can he hold the counterattack without taking critical damage? Rebellion knows exactly what's coming. He spread out his cannons to make it very different. Dark. Right, this was not, I'm cannon rushing you, but instead, oh, I hope we don't see more of this. That was actually... And the map is kind of designed for it, the way it's set up. I'm still gushing over that cannon rush, which maybe we won't use that terminology, but it brought a tear to my eye. That's what I mean. Totally, 100%. +1 attack on the way. Twilight in the main. Rebellion's just gonna take the Dark. See that? Did he see the probe go out? I don't believe so. He doesn't have any Zerglings on the other side. So Dark is now in the himself about this, as not knowing about the third base. He's just behind on drones. So this will be a true test of Dark here. As if this was an even money game, if this was Hero on the other side, Dark is dead. I cannot overstate how bad of a position this is for Zerg. You lost your natural, you have less workers, you have no tech, there's no lair, there's no upgrades, there's less economy. Maybe you could try Ravager Link, but you can't do a queen push, there's only 3 queens. The economy is just not there, and if you send any queens across, there's no injects, which means you can't build enough units to do any meaningful damage. There are already cannons there. You need to have an overwhelming amount of units. Usually when you're doing some sort of all-in, cannons are not part of it. Cannons are usually much later on when it comes to defense. So Dark has picked his timing. He's got 40 drones. He's got Ravagerling on the way. +1 is done for Rebellion, but Blink is a long way off. He's building more defenses at the third. It's 11 Stalkers against 28 Zerglings, 7 Ravagers and a Roach, another couple dozen Zerglings on the way. That's just a lot of Stalkers. He's got 5 gates in total here. The cannon at the back line. Shield battery overcharge. Popping it very early there. I assume Dark saw it, which is why he's backing off a bit here. Overlord. There's enough Ravagers to potentially start sieging the high ground. And remember, there's no Blink, so the Zerglings can potentially pin down the Stalkers. Blink is closing in. The Stalkers retreating behind a secondary wall, but the Ravagers will knock it out. More Zealots are warping in, and Dark is still making magic happen here. The corrosive bow is going to take out the shield battery. Blink is done, but has he lost too much? Rebellion still has so many probes. He can afford to lose pretty much all the probes at this base, as long as he doesn't lose the base. If he does, well then that's when real damage is dealt. Oh my, what? The pylon who lived. 3 HP. But those warp ends gonna help out a bit. Infestation pit on the way for Dark. Infestors? That has to be for infestors. I don't see a hive rush meaning anything here. Let's see, like, I guess swarm hosts are an option, but his economy is so low. This feels like a Hail Mary infestor situation. The Ravagerling did well, but Blink finished, and it's the economy. Stupid. Alright, my... Army size, but income advantage heavily in favor of Rebellion. 3 infestors on the way, yeah. The Desperado Festers. He's gambling that he can get the fungal and knock him out. He needs that. That's what Dark requires here. Infestor's about to pop out. They pop out with a fungal. Dark is actually supply blocked. But now's the time. Can he blink away in time? No, he gets caught! But there's no follow-up. The second infestor was just too late. And Rebellion, well, another fungal here. Corrosive Bile will help. The Zerglings will run it down, but +2 is done. The Stalker count is high enough. Dark is still managing to put so much on the field. Another fungal. He keeps catching him. And firing behind the lines. The Stalkers still incrementing out. Dark has enough workers now. He can just hold on to this. Every fungal is landing. But Rebellion able to blink away before the corrosive... I don't know what the timing is. If you fire corrosive bile as they get hit by fungal, does the fungal run out before the corrosive bile lands? It does take like 3 years to land, so... That's a lot of Stalkers. 30 Stalkers here. A lot of Dark supply is being delivered right now. It isn't currently on the field. He's got roaches in production. A lot of the damage is going into the hatch here. So if he doesn't end up killing the hatch, but the hatch is in the red. The roach is really struggling to get close. He doesn't have roach speed. He went straight to infest, and he just taps out. He just taps out. Rebellion with the macro cannon rush just puts a economic chokehold on Dark and takes him out. Beautifully done. Like, that was one of the best executed kind of macro cannon rushes that well, cannon rushes in general and macro cannon rushes specifically. Usually, stereotypically, the cannon rush is the build, but that was just an opener that he was able to follow up to great effect. So now Rebellion doing what Hero could not, which is winning a single game against Dark, at least in this set. So that brings us to a decider. We're going to game number... Oh my god, Dark has no respect. He's a... I glanced back, and here we are. Dark has expanded to both naturals. This is, yeah, this seems on brand. So 6 probes is the number to deal with it. It's the Evo block. Wait, is there enough? I like that Rebellion had the presence of mind to realize that the Evo didn't actually block. I think he built the hatch there. He built the hatch there in order to, oh my god. Because the probe was blocking the other spot, so he didn't build it directly on location. Because obviously it wasn't a long-term plan. But Dark, not gonna let Rebellion be the only one to dictate the pace of the early game. Oh, the Overlord. A few more shots. Not even close, baby. Knew he had it the whole time. Dark still with a drone scout in the base. Yeah, put down the Stargate. Our drones are under attack. There's a Twilight Council in it. I don't know why I'm whispering. They can't hear me. But it seems appropriate. Is he going to make the shrine to his opponent? Feels like the time to do so. Charge! Alright. Well, that's certainly Wait, he spun the wheel. Adept Glaives, Blink, and now Charge. Every flavor of Twilight Council represented here today. Robo on the way, so it's gonna be just a big charge lot timing. Is he even mining gas? He is. So maybe some Templar archives behind. Couple charge lots, well, soon to be charge lots, warping in. Watching closely the production tab here. He still has plenty of gas. This has to be Templar. The Shrine of Dark is built. He decided to build it in the main. Now, we'll see. Is this going to end up being a testament to Rebellion's ingenuity, or just another way of giving Dark the respect that he demands? There's a lair on the... Oh, he knows. He's got an idea. He saw the Twilight with the Zerglings. He knows the options. Are there spores? No. One. He knows that a Dark Shrine is a strong possibility. But he's already got roaches and a spine on the way as well. 43 drones, so an okay economy. Especially considering he has 3 bases. Zergling counterattack. The charge lots are taking their time. But there is no third. The Zerglings will find a probe, but with them across the map, that will trigger the charge lots to attack. But I don't think there's nearly enough of them. Dark has more than enough. Roaches, and even a Ravager and a Spine there. So the backbone of a solid defense, and starts the roach speed as well. And that's clearly going to be the attack timing. The Queens. Brenda, could you just stop? Just like 2 of you. Everyone else go back and inject. Thank you. Not every... Oh my god. How many times? Karen! Well, DT is getting into the third. Dark actually didn't have an Overseer. He got complacent. And suddenly... Well, that third Nexus. Here come the Queens. Transfuse is coming through. Overseer on the way. They're out of energy. Oh, no. Will he try to juggle? He recalls out. He's going to lose 3 out of 4 DTs. So Dark, quite a consolation prize there. If all the DTs had gotten out, that could have been disastrous. But he's able to build a single Archon. Third Nexus attempted by Rebellion. I say attempted because it's unclear whether or not it will remain intact here. As Dark actually gets a little surprised. He's 5 Overlords on the way. That's a lot of roaches. Speed is done now, too. Warp Prism coming back home. Force Field is, I think it helps Dark more than hurts here. Driven back into the natural. Dark with enough drones to perpetuate this attack. The Cyber Core. 1 Immortal. Hydralisk down on the way. With multiple Immortals, Dark may very well have to fall back here. But Rebellion, he may have run out of tricks in his admittedly impressive bag. But Dark was ready for both. Well, he wasn't quite ready for the DTs, but he made the best of it. And now with road speed done, Hydralisk down on the way, plenty of drones. There aren't many options left for Rebellion. 8 Hydras on the way, which is the perfect choice against someone who's limited on economy and is building Immortal Archon charge lot. if there was a risk of disruptors or even storm, which there isn't, then maybe Hydras aren't such a great choice, but against this more conventional Protoss army, especially lacking on upgrades, and really doesn't have the economy, the good old-fashioned Roach Hydra build should be at least a solid choice. Rebellion does have his third on the way. If Dark attacks too soon, with too few units, he does run the risk of getting that critical mass shaved out. But at the end of the day, the Overseer confirming. It's confirming everything. It's just making sure. Their base on the way. There's no big transition into like carriers. There's no Templar archives. He sees literally everything here. Rebellion doesn't have that economic buffer. He doesn't have the tech. He doesn't have the upgrades. He's just going to try to catch Dark out on the field. Which, a pretty smart choice. Immortals and Sentries out there. If he's able to isolate some of these units, there's only one Ravager. There's enough Sentries here that maybe Dark is actually maxed out, so he can't build too many Ravagers this moment. Just one more. Zealots in the natural. Rebellion making plays. He's got +1 and Blink done. It's not getting any easier here. He's going to try to isolate parts of the army. He doesn't have that much range damage. There's the force fields. There's just that one Ravager. Actually, great force fields. Hold position. Some of the roaches slipping through. Able to shave off some here. Warps in more sentries. Overseer's chasing down the Dark Templar. The Zerg, yeah, those are the ones, boys. But the force fields are good. He hallucinates a Colossus. I don't think Dark's gonna fall for that one. And, yeah, there's just not enough damage behind him. The Hydras are ripping through on the ground. The Immortals aren't remotely close to enough. And Dark strikes back for another victory. 2-1 against Rebellion. Yeah, you know what? Some pretty fun games there. But Dark still holds strong. A Cannon Rush, uncomfortable amounts of inspiration. But everything else, Dark looking like the better player here today. The final boss indeed. But hopefully it made your day a little bit better. Thank you for watching. Let me know again about the multiple series. I could split it up into multiple days, but then there's less days for good games. So, thank you for watching. If you got the means of motivation, it'd be awesome to check out Patreon or YouTube membership. But if you're here liking and subscribing, it's still free for now. Otherwise, if you haven't checked out the second channel for streams and other content or the new guides as well here on this channel. And Cass, of course. You know, it's not that hard to find. What am I saying? Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Good luck. Have fun. Stay tuned.